We are on.
Yes, we are.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Raj and Rich Show. I'm Raj.
And I'm Rich.
He wishes.
I do.
Except for now he's not rich. He's actually a dinosaur.
Rawr. Okay, no, I'm not doing it.
No.
It's a little fucking hot. Hot in there.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit of levity to everything that's been going on in the world.
It's been one crazy week.
It has definitely been a little odd. All week long. If it looks like I'm tired during this episode, all week long we have had like 2 stops every day, like 2-3 stops. We haven't done really. Well, we had one day with 4.
Yeah, we had one day with 4.
But we've been getting paid to really do a whole lot of nothing like all week long. Okay. And then today we thought, the pattern's just going to be the same. So, like, neither one of us really got any sleep last night.
No.
Okay. And then a lot of personal shit happened yesterday.
Yeah. Which we're not going to talk about.
No. Over the last 2 days. But, so we were thinking today was going to be another easy day. And then we got hit with this is the second heaviest day I've had since I've been here. And so if we look a little tired, it's because we were all good until the last stop when we had to take 2 pallets of stone, and if you're thinking, 2 pallets of stone, no big deal. Yes, I know we're late. I yelled at him for it. So anyway, each one of these pallets had 4,100 pounds of rock on them.
Yeah.
4,100 pounds of rock. Okay, so you're talking about 2 tons. Mm-hmm. Okay, on these pallets. And we had to get them up into this guy's driveway.
That shit fucking sucked. We had to get a running start with that shit.
And of course, my lift gate on my truck only holds 2,000 pounds. Or 4,000 pounds.
4,000 pounds.
So we're 100 pounds over plus the pallet jack. Plus you.
Me.
Okay, so we're overweight. And we
were over by about 500 pounds.
Originally, they wanted us to put it into the truck stacked. And it's like, no, it's not happening. And the whole reason why they did this, the whole reason why they were all shady about it, was because they knew if I saw it this morning, I'd tell them, you ain't putting that on my truck because my lift gate, Well, then they left us where we went out to the stop with half the order, which means we had to go back to get the other half. So we got stuck with it anyway. So we were good until that last stop, and that last stop screwed us up. It took an hour. It took an hour and 40 minutes to do it. And the 2 of us trying to push this pallet up this guy's driveway.
Not to mention the trees.
Yeah.
16-foot fucking trees.
16-foot trees in the back of a box truck.
Not that smart.
No. So.
But
we got it done though.
The bright side was the fastest fucking stop that we had. It was that second one in Slidell.
Yeah, we delivered today, folks. If you want to talk about ridiculous, just absolutely ridiculous laziness, okay? Just imagine, okay, say this is my vaporizer, right? This is almost the size of the light bulb. We literally had something the size of this that it cost them $80 to deliver, but it was a $7 light bulb.
So they took a $7 light bulb and turned it into an $87 light bulb.
Yeah, it just became an $87 light bulb in a big-ass box truck to deliver. And then that's where, if you go to my Facebook page, you'll see this creepy-ass looking Christmas tree.
Made of dentures.
Made of dentures, and it's sitting up on the receptionist's desk. He's the one that pointed it out, and then I looked over and said, no way. And I looked again, I'm like, holy shit, they made a tree out of dentures.
It is really cool. I want it.
I don't.
I want it.
There's some shit I put in my office as collector items. That is not one of them.
I just wanted to scare the shit out of
I don't want it because I'm afraid those are dentures that people used.
I just want it to scare the crap out of Rachel.
Well, you could probably do that.
Yes, thank you.
So anyway, so it's been a little bit of a weird week. So yes. Like I said, if we look exhausted, that there's your reasons why. So anyway, should we get on with? Oh, by the way, currently right now, I know you don't give a damn, but currently right now, if I read the clock right, the CK most definitely now has a new monarch. It is now the reign of the Dark Empress Makushi. I don't know what else she's calling herself. So yeah, I know you don't give a damn. I do.
I don't play Amtgard anymore.
I do care. I do care, and you know what? I wish I could have been there.
I know you do.
It would have been the only time you'd ever seen Yamish take a knee for a monarch.
But by the way, congrats, Jill.
Yes.
And Harley.
Yes.
an episode.
Yes.
Yes.
And I feel sorry for Zam. Zam got put into the Prime Minister's position.
Who?
Zam. He's the one that wears like the blue tunic with the Zam logo on it that kind of looks like a comic book thing. I can't remember his name. Anyway. But, anyway, I hope those of you that are out there at the event are having a good time and enjoying yourselves and wish I could be there. So, let's get on with
the news.
The news.
Alright, so apparently, going on in Kuala Lumpur, there's a man who has been stuck in an airport for 2 months.
This is just like the terminal that Tom Hanks was in. Almost just like it.
Just about. And this man's name is Hassan Al-Kantar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kantar. Apparently this man is Syrian.
Okay.
He's originally from Syria, and he was out working for an insurance company somewhere else. I forgot where. But apparently when the
So he was there on business.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was there. He was on a work visa somewhere else. And what ended up happening is when the Civil War broke out, he was told, hey, you need to come do, you're being reactivated for military service.
Yes.
And he goes, no, I've already done my time.
Legitimate.
Yeah, I've already done my time, and this is not my fight.
Okay.
This is between you and whoever. I have nothing to do with this.
Okay.
I'm going to go back to my life, and I'm going to continue working. Well, his visa ended up getting revoked.
Oh, okay.
Because of the civil war in Syria.
Mm.
And then, so he goes, okay, well, I'm going to go to Chile. Because Chile is taking Syrians with no visas.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Legit.
So he had it set up, ready to go. Getting ready to go on his flight. Flight got canceled last minute. Then he got kicked back to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And he was told, okay, so because he has no visa, because he has nowhere to go, yada, 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 and they're trying to figure things out, he has to stay in the airport.
Okay.
So they're giving him, 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
So not like Tom Hanks where he ended up using ketchup and crackers to sustain himself.
Well, in the terminal, anytime that he would get the crackers with the ketchup and mustard, before he ate it, it got knocked out of his hands. And then he got a different meal. It just happened by chance.
Yeah.
But, no, so they're like, okay, well, because we kind of fucked up, we're going to take care of you. You're going to get an airplane breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Oh, yeah.
So he's getting airplane food.
Which, that'll tear you up inside.
Yeah. So, but,
I've had airplane food.
So, for, the first few weeks, he was sleeping on the chairs. In this, little section of the terminal that they had blocked off just for him.
Okay.
So, finally, he goes, it's not comfortable, yada, yada, yada. Ended up sleeping underneath the fucking stairs.
Okay.
And the entire time, he goes, okay, well, this is getting fucking ridiculous. If something doesn't happen now, he goes, I'd honestly rather be dead than stuck like this.
By the way, those of you that are listening into the show tonight, please feel free to get into the chat room and be a part of the conversation. So our boy, Super Dave 1129234573895 isn't...
That's Midnight's friend.
Yeah, isn't left alone.
Yeah, well, he put that before we even started the show.
I know.
Yeah.
So, because he's all alone in the chat room.
Yeah.
So all right. So
yeah.
So what is looking like the end result for this?
All right. So right now, what's going on is that there is an actual group in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, look, okay, because Canada is taking Syrian refugees, which he is considered a refugee now since Syria has broken the civil war.
Okay.
And he can't go back home. Nobody else will take him.
Yeah.
It's whatever. So apparently they have already, had a GoFundMe account going to go ahead and take care of the paperwork fees and so on and so forth. They already have, lawyers and everything that already set up and got the paperwork filed and signed. And now they're just waiting on the Minister of Immigration in Canada to go ahead, review and finalize it.
Okay.
So on top of that, the lawyers have also been in touch with the Malaysian government to go ahead and give him temporary visa status so he can actually leave the terminal and go out to the city temporarily.
Okay.
So, because it's just been a struggle for him trying to figure out where he's going to shower, how he's going to wash his clothes, yada, yada, yada. So, and apparently, because this has garnered so much attention because he actually took to Twitter. Mm-hmm. And he was, stating exactly what the fuck was going on. Okay. They're like, okay, well, they brought it to attention, and now the Malaysian government is like, oh, fuck. So, like, okay, we will work with him.
And okay, so my opinion on this situation is I get the whole visa thing moving back and forth, but obviously he had a visa at some point. Okay, that's how he got there.
Yes.
So, which means he's passed background checks and stuff like that to be able to go and in different countries.
Absolutely.
Why can't common sense fucking prevail, and just let him? Why can't the Malaysian government contact the government of Chile, and say, okay, we've got him. His visa's run out. Will you accept him if we send him? And then then the Chile government could say, look, okay, so what's the situation? Explain the situation, and the Chilean government can turn around and go, okay, yeah, go ahead and send him. And then they could take him and then process him and figure out what they're going to do, yeah. But at least he's where he wanted to go. That would be common sense.
Yes.
Because leaving a man stuck in a terminal, basically making him homeless, okay, turning him into being homeless, it is ridiculous. Super late for me. Yeah. But it's now made it's common sense should prevail that this guy was good to go, but because a civil war has broken out in his country, now he doesn't have a visa anymore, and that's exactly what happened with Tom Hanks in the terminal.
Yes.
He was on vacation, and then he was on a business trip, his country breaks into a civil war, and all visas from that country have hereby been revoked, and he gets stuck in an airport. So this is the exact same thing, only different countries, okay? And so now he's stuck there. And common sense should prevail that they should contact the Chilean government and say, look, he got here legally. While he was here, it was revoked. He was supposed to be flying to you guys, and he would have been good, but the flight got canceled. And not an hour after the flight gets canceled, his visa's gone. Can you guys accept it? I'm just basically shrinking it down.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you guys accept him? We fly him to you, and you guys handle it from there, so the guy's at least where he wanted to go, and you guys can handle it. And that would be common sense. Instead, for 2 months, this guy's been stuck in a freaking airplane terminal. When just some common sense could work out and solve this guy's problem.
Yeah. Unfortunately, people do not have fucking common sense.
No, and I don't think they do, because here's a situation and nobody should be stuck in an airport. Because, I mean, worst case scenario, he ends up getting deported back to Syria, which they can very well do. He's a Syrian... Yeah. He's a Syrian resident. Mm-hmm. He doesn't want to go there.
No.
But end all be all, if they can't send him to Chile, then they could send him back to Syria.
Yes.
Instead of him stuck in an airport.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, to me, it's just dumb. It's absolutely dumb that we're going to leave this guy stuck in an airport, and now this government, the government where he's at in Malaysia, is all like, oh shit, we messed up, man. Now we got to figure out a way to fix it. How do you not know? How does the government not think that there's something wrong with leaving a guy in an airport for 2 months?
It's just one of those things where they just don't give a shit.
I don't think it's and that is your opinion. That's not a fact.
What I mean is the government doesn't give a shit. The people who work in the airport, they care. Because they're like, okay.
Well, obviously they're taking care of the guy.
Yeah,
so of course they care.
We're in a fucking shitty situation. We're gonna do our best to kind of. Give you a little bit of comfort.
But the government, like I said, your opinion, and I kind of agree with your opinion that obviously the government didn't care. But now the government looks horrible when they could have been in front of this from the get-go and been on the phone because he was going to go to Chile and get the Chilean government on the phone and say, okay, even email them. I mean, my God's sakes, we all have electronic communication. Yeah. And say, hey, look, we got this guy. He was going to you. Civil War broke out. Lost his visa when the flight got canceled. then we send them to you anyway.
Think about it this way. When something happens in an airport in the U.S., who is it that is in charge of that?
The Department of Homeland Security or the TSA?
TSA.
Well, the TSA answers to the Department of Homeland Security.
Yeah. So, TSA. And we all know what's wrong with TSA?
They let anybody through. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have had to show his visa if this happened in the United States. His ass could have just gotten on a plane and nobody would have known.
But the thing is, TSA are fucking lazy.
Except for the airport, except for the last couple times I've had to go through the airport, they were actually pretty spot on.
Well, yeah, that's in Austin.
In Austin, they were pretty spot on the money.
But that's because, Austin is brave of its fucking own.
But I mean, other than that.
But most anywhere, they're.
Oh no, I was in BWI and the guy just passed me right through. Didn't check anything.
Exactly.
Didn't make me take my shoes off or nothing. He's like, just go on.
So think about it this way: Malaysia. We kind of know about that place.
Well, Malaysia has been a target of terrorist attacks, but we haven't had a crap load of terrorists coming out of Malaysia.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly like Malaysia's producing the terrorisms and the terrorists in the world.
So because of that, they're all like, oh, okay, yeah, so what is it that you're trying to do? Oh, I was supposed to go to Chile, but, flight got canceled. Oh, that sucks. Well, how about this? We'll go ahead and let you kick back right here. We'll figure something out about your flight.
I don't think it quite went down. I think somebody contacted the government. Oh, let me contact somebody, and they just never contacted nobody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's pretty much exactly what it is.
So, yeah, we both kind of agree on that it's a shitty situation, should have never happened. So, now for one of the big news stories of the week.
Oh, my God.
One of the big news stories of the week, I know people are sitting there going, well, they're talking about some Syrian guy stuck in an airport in Malaysia. Who cares? One of the big stories of the week is, of course, the Boy Scouts are allowing girls. Now, they're dropping the name boy from the Scouts. It's just going to be called Scouts.
Scouts of America.
Scouts of America. And they're going to allow girls into it. And the problem is of course we know the Boy Scouts of America for the last several years has been dealing with one big issue after another big issue after another big issue. They had, they've had like scout leaders that have been pedophiles.
Yeah.
But the problem is you've also got organizations that have tried to go after them and sue them because they're not considered all inclusive because they limit it to one sex.
Yeah. And
it's ridiculous.
I mean, what the Boy Scouts, have been going through is ridiculous.
Yes.
I was an Eagle Scout.
I never was a Boy Scout. I tried Cub Scouts for like 6 months. It didn't work out.
It was definitely, one of those things in my life that I'm glad I did because I learned so many things. And honestly, it kind of helped me in my military career.
Hey! They're one of our show people right there. Yeah. Miranda's there.
What's up? So, it taught me a lot of things that actually helped me throughout my military career.
Mm-hmm.
It garnered, the whole purpose above self.
Okay. I get and I know lots of people that have been in the Scouts.
Oh, yeah.
They tell me all kinds of great stories about what it did for them and everything else, and it's really great for like urban communities to have Scout programs too.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
they take these kids out and give them knowledge that they don't. I received my Silver Award through Venture Scouts, which is co-ed division of the Boy Scouts of America. It's equivalent to an Eagle. Yeah, and that was one of the things that was discussed today on one of the conversations. Like, well, how does a girl get it? How does a girl get it? How does a girl get an Eagle Scout? Because that's a boy thing. And and then somebody, of course, brought that up in the conversation that they have an equivalent to it.
Yeah. Oh, but it doesn't have the same name, so it's not the same.
Yeah, it's not. It's so they're removing it to it's going to come to Scouts of America.
Yes.
So boys going away, and they're going to allow girls to go in now. So my question is, what are they going to do when they go on these camping retreats? They're not allowed to separate them.
No, they're not. So now you're going to have a bunch of teenagers.
Okay, remember now, this part of it is opinion because it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, well, it hasn't happened yet.
I know, but we stress to people that we say exactly what the facts is and then insert our opinion.
So the fact of the matter is that, you know, if they do go camping, they will have to camp together because they cannot be separated.
Yeah, because once the girls are going to sleep on this side of the campfire in those tents, and the boys are going to sleep on this side of the campfire in those tents. Then one of them, all they have to do is one of them goes to mom and says, well, they didn't let us sleep. Let our tents all be intertwined, and we're at this again, all over again. We had a wall at camp, Daniel Boone, but we all slept in the main hall.
Okay. But,
well, that's monitorable. You can have scout leaders and masters in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but the thing is, if you go camping, I can see the whole point of, you know, 1-on-1.
Yeah, and that would be the wise thing to do, is put the girls on one side and the boys on the other side.
It would.
You know, because when you get to the Eagle Scout level, you're in your upper teens. You know, I think every single person I've ever talked to that got Eagle Scout was in that 16, 17, and 18-year-old range. Yep. Okay, so if you got girls at that equivalent, so you got 16, 17, 18-year-old girls, 16, 17, 18-year-old boys, I don't really have to connect the dots to see where I'm going here. Out on a camping retreat, with no real way to monitor it, my mind is in there going, well, if you want more Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, this is how you're going to get more Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, because eventually 10 months later, you're going to have an addition to the Scout program.
Yeah. The only
if you
thing
catch
is,
my drift.
Yeah, the only thing is that...
Not saying they all would do it, but...
Now, I can actually... Well, I'm about to say I can actually see happening if something like that were to happen. Because, you know, they go ahead, take the boys and the girls on the camping retreats and everything like that, and they go ahead and separate them. You already know that you're going to have parents who are going to be super fucking pissed off because they're like, oh, well, you know, we just spent, you know, years and years and years to go ahead and make, you know, the Boy Scouts all-inclusive, you know, for boys and girls. And now when we go ahead and get the girls in there, you're still going to separate them from the boys?
Well, and the bad part is, okay, what I can also see, because you are gonna have some scout troops out there.
Yes.
That are very traditional. Very traditional. They have a lot of traditions that they do, and now you're gonna include girls. I mean, and you're gonna have the girls are gonna get shunned. It's just like when girls start trying to play football in high school. You could have a football program and a coaching staff that's open to the idea, and then you have some that are like, no, this is a boy sport and you're not gonna play, but we can't stop you from trying out. So then they sit there and they pull a few of their main hitters to the side and say, wipe this girl out and make her regret she ever joined. And I could see something like that happening, where you have scout leaders, scout masters, they're like, no, this is for boys and boys only, and we need to prove it.
Yeah.
And go after those girls, and then girls' safety is at risk. Then, you know, I just see so many problems with taking a traditional organization that is mainly designed for boys, and Girl Scouts, mainly designed for girls, and trying to intertwine the sexes and think that nothing's going to be different, that it's going to operate like it's always operated. It can't operate how it's always operated.
No, it can't.
Because it's just like a basic training. When the unit I was drilling at, okay, we had to go co-ed. They told us, no, you don't have choice, because they're getting girls, they're getting co-ed AITs that training that's coming to Fort Sill, Oklahoma. You guys are gonna have to go through sensitivity training.
Yep.
Okay. And there was a bunch of drill sergeants that thought, oh, it'll just be the same it's always been. And no, it wasn't. It changed a lot. Okay? Not saying, and folks, please understand that I am not saying anything negatively about girls, because I will say in a couple cycles, I had girls outshining the guys.
Yes.
By a lot. Okay, so I'm not saying anything negative about women. But it does change the scope of things. It changes how you approach things.
Yes.
And now you're talking about these training programs that get you your badges and the scouts. And like I said, I'm speaking not from experience. I was never in it. Okay. But they have, through the years of refinement, this is how they teach this program. This is how you pass and get this patch.
They have everything down to a science.
Yeah, it is very structured. This is how you do it. This is how you get your patch. This is how you do it. You know, this is how you get this patch. This is how you work your way up to Eagle Scout. Mm-hmm. Some of those things in there may not be inclusive to the girls being able to do it. Mm-hmm. And so now we're going to have to change it. Okay? And now we're going to have to start altering it. And then you're going to have people that are midway through the path that now it's changed in the middle of it, and now that could hurt them getting to the ultimate goal.
Yes. Because
getting your Eagle Scout is the top prize.
It is.
That is the you have done shit award. Okay?
This is you're the cream of the fucking crop.
Yeah.
You have proven yourself.
And you may have people on that path that now are in the middle and things like periods and whatnot. Okay. Well, yeah, that was one. Luckily I'd been around women enough in my life. By the time I was doing that I didn't have any problem dealing with it. It's just, hey, look, congratulations, your ass is now going to grenade range. I want to watch what happens when you fling that bitch with anger. But no, you know, you could have people in the middle of that path going to that level. And now things have got to change, and it's going to screw them up, and it's going to screw up their path. And it's going to hurt. It's going to take a long time before, it's going to take a long time before they refine exactly how to work this out the right way, where it's all the same thing, and they're going to have to rewrite their structure on how to earn these badges. And the problem is there's going to be kids that are trying to get to the top level that are going to get hurt in the process. Mm-hmm. You know, and then the bad part is I see them going back and going, well, because they were stuck in the middle of this, let's give them a pass. And then it devaluates that badge.
It really does, and then you start getting this huge curve.
And then the problem is okay, so this is my next question. Where do we go to next? You got a girl that goes into you got girls that go into Boy Scouts, okay, so now they're Scouts of America. The girls want to be an Eagle Scout. And you get a girl that doesn't make it. She doesn't make it. Okay, she doesn't get there. Mm-hmm. And she's got one of them helicopter parents. She goes home. She didn't get her Eagle Scout. How much you want to bet the fucking Scouts of America ends up in a court somewhere getting sued because they claim discrimination?
Oh, I'm pretty sure that will happen. But the only thing is, I'm pretty sure that if they go ahead and get taken to court over discrimination and everything like that, you know, in order for you to go ahead and be in this, you know, organization, the parents do have to sign a waiver.
Well, no, I get this. They sign waivers and everything else, but I'm like, it's going to be one of these. Everybody gets a trophy parent.
Yeah, participation awards.
You know, and so they didn't get the end goal. They didn't get Eagle Scout. And then next thing you know, the Scouts of America are drug into a courtroom because they claim sexual discrimination, and that's why she didn't get it.
Well, to get your Eagle, not only do you have to, you know, get your badges and everything like that, you do have to take a test.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. When it comes to it, do they have the badges to go ahead and get their Eagle? That's going to be the first question. If it's yes, then yes.
But does that matter when you're suing somebody civilly? No, it doesn't.
It's in the
in the
handbook.
Boy is in Boy Scouts, and now girls are in there.
Yeah, but it's also in the handbook.
Oh, it doesn't matter when you're suing somebody civilly. It's just like RROP in the game of Amcor. Doesn't mean shit.
That's true.
When you're in a court of law or suing. Same thing with the handbook. Guess what? It's a guidebook on what you should do. Doesn't mean that's what you have to do.
No.
Because nothing in there is upholdable by law.
This is true.
So when it comes to civil, it's a matter of interpretation.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the one thing I try to explain people. Why is Raj off camera?
What?
Because you're sitting way the fuck over there.
Oh.
Get your ass back on camera, moron.
All right.
Good God. Will you bring the screen over real quick to make sure that you have it?
Because Mouse. There it is. Yeah.
You're slightly on camera. No, we're going to solve this problem real fast, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Now, everybody's in the shot. So there we go. All right, so thank you, Kill Mill, for letting us know. It looks like I'm talking to the wall that has a voice. But no, it's like I said, the books don't matter because civil lawsuits are a matter of interpretation.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you interpret that you were that you were not given the fair shake of the deal like everybody else? And that's what happened. Participation awards were stupid, and still are stupid. Okay, and exactly. This is what's going to happen now. Is now that you've taken a knee to this situation, and you've accepted it that this is what we're going to do. That gives those groups that have been pushing and pushing and pushing for this, that none of them are even going to be in the Scouts.
No, of course not.
None of them are going to be in it. Okay? But you've now given them even more power to now sit there and dictate what your organization can and cannot do.
Yeah.
And the sad reality is the end result, and this is my opinion on how I feel this whole thing's going to go, and that what the end result of this all is going to be. Within 10 to 15 years, you're not going to see the Scouts of America, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts anymore.
No,
they're gone.
Yeah,
they're gone.
So Marina said, speaking of awards.
Speaking of awards, okay. So.
What awards?
I don't know. Oh yeah, she got her Baroness title.
Cool.
Congratulations, proud of you.
So Scouts. I mean. With that, honestly...
10, 15 years, I don't see there being Scouts in America anymore.
And then it's just going to be a fucking thing of the past. And it's going to fucking suck because those are some really good years in my life.
Turn a little bit that way. That's the wrong direction, Joey.
Oh. Well, you...
This? Okay. We look like me and you were having a debate at the table and just having to have a camera. Okay.
So Scouts were some of the best years of my life. I've done so many things, learned so many things, and then just to see it all go to fucking piss and shit just because some people are all fucking mamby-pamby and fucking all that shit.
It's one of those situations where it's like, look, not everybody wins. Not everybody can win. And not everybody can be a part of every single group or organization.
Yeah.
And when people can wake the hell up and realize that, then we could get back to some of the fundamental things that actually help out. Because, like I said, this is going to destroy the scouting program in the United States of America. We're not going to have the Scouts program anymore.
No.
It's going to go away. Because of this, it's going to go away. They should have stood their ground and said, no, we're not changing it. And no, girls can't be a part of Boy Scouts. Girls have Girl Scouts, boys have Boy Scouts. Well, and part of all this whole thing is the whole gender identification and everything else. Well, what if you got a girl that identifies as a boy? And I hate that it sounds like I'm going back to the Robert Shapiro conversation with the girl that said, well, do you identify as a cow? You know, and she's like, what? I mean, he goes, not saying you are a cow, but okay, do you identify as a horse? Well, no, I'm not a horse. Okay, then. And the point was made right there. The point was made right there, and the conversation didn't need to go any further.
Yeah.
But then she tried to push it even further, so I had to go.
Well, here's a question. So they're fighting for the advocacy for girls to be in the Boy Scouts.
Yes.
Can boys be in the Girl Scouts?
I don't know. I don't. Right now, I haven't seen anything that's come up that says that the boys are going to be able to join the Girl Scouts.
Question is no.
You know,
because Girl Scouts is for Girl Scouts.
But Boy Scouts can't exist. And there was one opinion that was given out there that said, look, it's just the end of everything masculine.
That's exactly what it is.
There's not allowed to be anything that is masculine only. You know, and God help men if they want to do men things by their men self.
Don't we know about that?
You know, like boys' night playing poker at the buddy's house. Well, if you tell one of your girls they can't come over, you could end up in a lawsuit.
Apparently.
You know, and it's ridiculous. But, folks, you could go ahead and chime in and what you think about it. And, you know, do you agree with me that now because of this, you think scouts are gone in 10, 15 years? Do you think that, oh, well, eventually we're going to have boys in the Girl Scouts? You know, what's your feelings on it? So let's move on to our next topic.
Yeah, so apparently we have more information going on the whole Stormy Daniels suing Donald Trump.
Yes. Okay. Now, Rudy Giuliani did come out and say some things where he overstepped his boundary a little bit because of his understanding. Understand that Rudy Giuliani has been Trump's lawyer for all of about 6 days.
Yeah.
Okay. Even though they know each other and they're familiar with each other and they talk all the time.
Oh yeah, I mean,
former
governor of New York.
Not
Mayor.
Mayor. Not
Former
governor.
mayor of New York.
Okay. So anyway, and his Trump's last lawyer retired, you know, so to speak. So he hired Giuliani in, and Giuliani went on Sean Hannity's show, and when Sean Hannity asked him about the whole Stormy Daniels hush money thing that's going around, you know, Giuliani said that the lawyer paid it without Trump knowing about it, but Trump reimbursed the lawyer. But what we found out today was that Trump paid a retainer to the lawyer.
Yeah.
And out of that retainer is where the $130,000 was paid to Stormy Daniels. Now, the argument that's going on is that everybody's gone nuts over, okay, is, well, if this was campaign funds that he used to do this with, then it's illegal. No, okay, because when you become a candidate for an office, specifically a U.S. government elected office,
yes,
when you campaign, you have to set up a brand new bank account, okay? And in that bank account, if you spend over a certain amount of money, you're required to report it. I think it's $2,700 or $2,500. You have to immediately report it, okay? Anything under that, you're not required to have to report, okay? So what happened though was Stormy Daniels was given this money prior to him running for office. Okay, she got her money beforehand. Then he ran for office afterwards. So even if he gave him the money to shut the fuck up because he's running for office, and they knew he was going to run for office, either or, there's no proof. Even if it happened, even if it goes, hi, I'm Donald Trump, and I'm running for president, it'll be the greatest presidency of all time, and it'll be so much winning. Anyway, even if it happened a day after, okay, they have to prove that the $130,000 that Trump paid, the retainer that he paid his lawyer, came out of his campaign account. If it comes out of his personal account for a legal matter that has nothing to do with the campaign, because telling somebody, here's $100,000, you don't need to mention anything we used to do in life.
Yeah. You
know, if we used to do blow off of a hooker's behind 50 years ago, here's $130,000, keep your mouth shut about that. Nobody needs to know about that. Okay. It's still, if it's not, they're trying to say election campaign fraud. If it did not come out of the campaign account, we're talking about a president that had worth $9 billion.
Yeah. Okay.
If he pulled that out of his own private fund, out of his own private account where no campaign money has ever touched, it's not a crime. Okay? It's not a crime. Like, if he takes his own credit card and say he's got a shit ton of people that are with him that are out of campaign.
Yeah.
Okay? And he brings them all over to KFC out of his own pocket and pays for dinner at KFC for, say, 35, people at KFC, and it costs over $2,700, but it's out of his own private account. He doesn't have to report it. And that's where people are getting this screwed up. There has to be, you have to separate your account. Now, if you want to take $1 billion of your own money and put it in your campaign funding, you have to report that transaction saying, I'm taking $1 billion of mine and I'm putting it in there. Well, now they've got a record of it. So they know that this account now, every time that account goes up in value or down in value, you every month have to report it.
Yes.
Okay, and they go over with a fine-tooth comb to make sure that there's nothing illegal there.
Yeah.
And they go on. So at no point during the election did the campaign finance committee turn around and go, "Hey, what's this $130,000 for there, Mr. Trump? I don't know what that is." Okay, so that wasn't in there because it didn't come out of the account. Even if they would have not told anybody they spent the money, when the transactions and the report at the end of the campaign went to the finance committee,
yeah,
they would audit it and look at it and go, "We never heard about the $130,000 withdrawal that's coming out of this account," because you can't hide that.
No, you can't.
You can't go back and make that transaction disappear.
No, because all the money has to be accounted for when it comes to an electronic account.
Well, and not to mention the fact the bank has to keep it on record for up to 2 years in digital, and then for more years after that, it has to be put in paper in a file somewhere. So, and that's the law. So it's still there anyway. Mm-hmm. So there's no proof that this came out of his campaign finance account.
It honestly, it sounds like they're
and these are not opinions by me, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
No, these are actual
This
facts.
is shit that I have researched. That there is no proof. You can go online and look up the Trump and Republican campaign and look at every transaction they did. And let me tell you, if you really have nothing, like if you're on a flight from the United States to Germany right now, that will take up more than the time it takes to get to Germany on a plane. Okay? But there's not, for the month that they claim this happened, I went through that. There's nothing there. You can't forge a bank report.
You can't.
Unless the bank themselves edit it and erase it. And then the bank, the Trump people were not guilty then. The bank is responsible for violating federal, under the Commerce Act for the banking regulations.
Yeah, for fraudulence.
So that's fraud by the bank, and now the bank is guilty. And I know this is about as stimulating as a tax audit. Okay, but still, there's nothing there. If there was something there, I'd tell you right now, ding ding, their asses are fucked. They're going to have to figure this shit out.
But there's nothing.
There's nothing there.
Honestly, it sounds like because right now it's really the Democrats are really like pushing for this.
Well, the problem is, and where this is coming out, where this whole thing is, this whole Mueller thing, where they've got a federal judge now that has come out and said, you are leading people into saying things you want them to say. You are doing these things, and now you're investigating for things that aren't even related to what you were appointed to do. And the federal judge has now come back and said, you need to stop. You're appointed to determine on whether or not the Trump campaign worked with the Russians in order to screw with our elections, change the results, or change who could vote, who couldn't vote, and everything else, because they're trying to figure out now whether or not the Russians actually, they did hack the national registry on who's a registered voter in the country. Mm-hmm. Now they're trying to figure out if they changed anything in it. Okay? That doesn't affect the votes because we do not allow our voting machines to be out in the world online.
Correct.
Okay? They only are connected to a box inside the building. It doesn't go outside. The only thing that's coming into the building from the outside is the electric. Mm-hmm. Okay? Because they take that box out and then they go into a room and they count it.
Yes.
Okay, they print this. It prints it out,
and
they go through and count this shit. So nothing is. The only thing that's hooked to the internet is when they go on the laptop to notify the state registrar that, hey, this precinct counted these votes, and these votes, and then they pick up the phone and verify it. Okay, so the Russians couldn't interfere with the vote count.
No, they can't.
Okay. But see, the problem is during all this investigation, now it's like, oh, well, they found this, they found that. Well, now a federal judge is saying that's not what you were sent to do. So what the end around is now, because this is the other thing the judge got mad about, well, they went out and they went and appointed other people to investigate other shit they found. So now the judge was mad because the judge was like, well, wait a minute, you just went and created like an entire federal office on your own accord because you're like, during your investigation, you found out, well, this is a little shady. Let me go get a lawyer on this one. And now I got a lawyer over on this issue. And now I got a lawyer over this issue. Before too long, you had, and I'm generalizing because there's a lot more people in Mueller's office during this special counsel deal. Originally, you had like 4 people in an office, right? Mm-hmm. Working on this Russian collusion thing. Now there's 200 people.
Yeah.
Okay, and the thing is he's working without having to answer to anybody, and the judge has brought this all to a stop. Which just this brings us back because that's why this whole Stormy Daniels thing is a thing.
Yes.
Because they immediately put that out to the press, and the press is running nuts with it. You know what? Here's my take, my opinion on all this. I personally don't give a shit. You know why? Because I didn't give a shit when Bill Clinton was getting Hummers in the Oval Office. Because guess what? Bill Clinton still did his job.
Yeah.
Okay? And that girl was willing to give him Hummers in the Oval Office.
Yes.
But Bill Clinton still did his job. I don't care. It's like, I don't care if John F. Kennedy was banging Marilyn Monroe. Doesn't bother me one bit. If the president is still doing his job, here's the thing. This happened before he was the president. So we can't even really relate it to Bill Clinton because Bill Clinton did it while he was in office. He lied on the stand, which is why he was impeached. Yes. Everybody said, well, he was impeached for cheating on his wife. No. He lied on the stand. Okay? That's why he was impeached. He committed a felony by lying under oath in a federal court.
Yes. Okay?
I don't care. I really don't care what he's done. And you know why? Unemployment's at an all-time low in 17 years. The economy is up in an all-time high, in almost that same amount of time. Korea, the war in Korea is coming to an end. Manufacturing jobs are at an all-time high since the Reagan era.
Yes.
Okay? I'm talking Reagan era. Okay? All these things are working. So even though the guy fucked a porn star and tried to pay her off so she didn't go blabbing to CNN, which she ended up doing anyway, and I want to see the Trump administration, I want to see the Trump's lawyer sue her for the $130,000 left because she obviously broke the non-disclosure agreement.
Yes. Okay?
But he's still able to do this shit.
And still deal with all of this.
And then still have to deal with that. And he even said on the tarmac, before he got on the tarmac to go to the NRA convention in Dallas, I want to sit down with the man and talk to him. Even though his lawyers are all like, you shut the fuck up. Because we all know once he gets a little irritated, he'll start blowing off at the mouth.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one thing I dislike about our president, I will say. You got to have a little more care about what you're saying.
A little more tact.
But Trump, I'm not saying filter him because, God, I love some of the shit that comes out of his mouth. But he has a tendency to be one of those people that overshares everything.
Yeah, Coffee.
Yeah, I get it that you want to be honest and out and open about everything, but can we back a little bit of what qualifies as everything? You know what I mean?
Yeah, So, with all this, it honestly became where they were hunting mythical creatures. Because
it's like what's his name said today,
Caputo. They're hunting mythical creatures. I don't know if they're I
don't know if they're hunting witches, if they're hunting warlocks, if they're hunting
or werewolves or something like that. But I'm pretty sure there's a few witches up in here.
And they got witch traps everywhere. I'm waiting for there to be anti-witch symbols spray painted on the corner of fucking buildings in DC now.
You see, my thing is excuse me, I apologize. Yeah, it's been really rough for me this week. But with this whole Trump thing, it all comes down to the Dems are pissed off that not only did their candidate not get elected, but the candidate that they completely and utterly despise is doing better than they expected.
Well, and it's like the one meme that's out there that you had Bernie Sanders and Nancy Pelosi. Oh, you can't talk like that. You can't talk like this. This is going to create a civil war, or this is going to create a nuclear war. North Korea and South Korea meet a peace agreement. Then the both of them at the bottom, no words, just
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what this really seems like it's happened now. Like I said, these are opinions on this, but I mean, my God, the numbers are backing up the statements.
Exactly.
And you've got Democrats now that are coming out and saying, yes, Hillary Clinton was the worst fucking option we could have had for running for president.
Honestly, it probably would have been World War III already.
You know, I don't think it would have been. I just think we would have just kept on going down the same road we've been going down.
Yeah.
I think unemployment would have still been insanely high, you know, and everything else.
Unemployment is finally at 3.9%.
And then I love how they like to throw out there that the president of the United States doesn't care about black people, but yet black unemployment is down.
Yes, to an all-time low.
To an all-time low. You know, so you know, but the problem is you can, and worst is sometimes you watch some of these certain alphabet soup news shows try to find people to talk garbage about the president, and these people won't. In fact, finally, one of their reporters, now I'm not covering it, I'm not blending into the next one. One of their own reporters finally had to say, we do have to give it to Trump for the Korean deal, because the North Korean and the South Korean leaders are saying if it wasn't for Trump, we wouldn't be here.
Yes.
And they're like, so we do have to give Trump, and it was like, I'm pretty sure there was a few people watching that alphabet news show that died. I'm pretty sure they had a heart attack or a stroke and they're gone. You know, and not because of people who don't normally watch this and were surprised it happened. They felt like their own alphabet soup news show was the final nail in their coffin that let them down.
Yeah.
And that they couldn't believe any reality. It's like people, flat earthers, that believe that Australia is fake.
Yeah, that's a new thing.
Yeah. So anyway, but we could beat this, and this is somewhat of a boring topic. So let's move on.
But you know, moving into the whole how reporters are trying to get people and try to direct them to go ahead and talk bad about the president actually goes and brings us to our next story about Mr. Shaw from it was the Waffle House shooting in Nashville.
Yes. If you guys, some of you may not, a couple weeks ago we had a shooter guy naked with an AK-47.
AR-15.
Or was it an AR? I thought
it was an AR-15.
I heard AK-47 and AR-15 kept throwing back and forth.
No, it was AR-15.
Okay, so he walked into Waffle House with AR-15 and ammunition, and I'm not quite sure if he was naked where he was keeping the ammunition, but okay. Other than the standard magazine, but where was he putting the rest of them? I don't think we want to know, and I didn't want to be the investigator to figure that one out. But anyhow, Mr. Shaw was inside the Waffle House when this guy started opening fire, confronted the gunman. The gunman had a malfunction.
Yeah.
In his firearm.
After he already shot and killed 4 people.
Yes, and in the melee, a bullet had actually grazed Shaw's forearm.
Yes.
So he wrestled with the guy and he took the firearm from him.
Got the firearm from him.
Guy ran.
Took off.
Haul ass. Butt naked white dude jumping in the forest. Nothing new in that state. That's something that happens there.
Yeah.
It's probably why nobody else driving down the road. Hey, look, there goes another naked white guy into the woods. So anyhow, of course, the guy's a hero. I'm not gonna lie, the guy's a fucking hero.
A lot more people could have been hurt.
A lot more people could have been mowed down. He himself could have been killed.
Yeah.
Okay. And so they did. One of the things that happened was there was a GoFundMe account.
Yeah.
It was put up.
His family put up a GoFundMe account to go and help take care of hospital bills and so on and so forth.
Well, he took every dime of the money that he got, because it got a lot of money. It wasn't like, oh, look, he made like $10,000 on GoFundMe. It was a lot of money. So what he decided to do with the money is he took the money and he paid for the 4 funerals for the 4 people that died in the Waffle House. And I believe any of the remaining money that's left over after that's going to go to the medical bills of anybody else that was in the IHOP that got shot.
Yeah, medical bills, and then of course some money to go ahead and as like a stipend for the families itself.
Okay, so this guy, not only did he save all these people's lives, which is enough, but now he's taking the money that went to the GoFundMe to pay for the people's funerals, to pay for people's medical bills and stuff like this. Okay, and this guy's a fucking hero, and I hope I would really like to see this guy get the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
And honestly, when I saw this and I read this, I was like, you know what? This person right here.
It gives me hope that there's some hope for this country.
Exactly. It restored a little bit of faith in humanity for me. Even though very minuscule.
Yeah.
But it still restored a little bit of faith.
But what crushed that faith?
So, apparently what ended up happening is the Van Jones show.
Let's make sure he went researching to find out more information about this deal and ran across another news agency that talked about this, and they actually interviewed Shaw.
Yes. It was the Van Jones show on CNN. So apparently they went ahead and interviewed Shaw, Mr. Shaw.
Now I have an opinion about CNN. It stands for the Clinton News Network.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Well, and there's a reason why he says that, because apparently now, he was interviewing Mr. Shaw, and Van Jones goes, okay, so apparently, after all this happened, President Trump has not contacted you whatsoever. Even though the press secretary said on Tuesday that the White House has intentions of inviting Mr. Shaw to the White House.
Yes.
For dinner.
And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, if you think that all they got to do is snap their fingers and Shaw's there at the White House and has dinner, it's not that simple.
It's a logistical fucking nightmare.
It's horrible to arrange. The reason why it is so special and it's so rare is because of how difficult it actually is to get a non-member of the government there at the house or there at the White House for dinner with the President of the United States.
Because there has to be background checks done. There has to be security measures implemented. They have to get security, Secret Service details.
They've got to schedule it. They've got to fit it into the schedule where it doesn't impede the president being able to do things that he's already scheduled to do.
Exactly.
It's not like they can just simply go out and go to McDonald's and have a Happy Meal. It doesn't work that way.
The president's schedule.
And of course, none of the news, none, not a single one of the news agencies even gave that explanation as why there's a possibility it's taking long. Yeah. None of them did. Not even Fox News.
So CNN straight up said, why didn't President Trump get in contact with you, after you saved so many people and now that you're a hero and yada, 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 when he does this and this and this for all these other people? Yeah. It's probably because, the CNN reporter was trying to go ahead and allude to...
He was trying to bait and I've been... folks understand, I've been in media, or some form of media, for the last 12 years. Okay? 12, 15 years. Okay? It's a common tactic by a person running a story. And the Van Jones show is an opinion show.
Yes.
Okay? But it's a classic story to get somebody to say things about somebody in order to build a story off of it. It's classic. People have been doing that forever. Okay?
Absolutely.
That's nothing new. Well, I'd have to say since the Walter Cronkite era came to an end, media has turned into this.
It has.
Okay? But it's a classic way of them trying to get him to get upset and then to start saying things about the president. Say, look, the hero of Waffle House doesn't even like the president.
Yeah. So, after Van Jones asking Mr. Shaw this, Mr. Shaw retorts back with, I understand that President Trump, the President of America, is a busy man. He has a lot of things he has to deal with. He has a lot, he has a busy schedule. I'm sure that, when he gets to me, if he gets to me, my time will come.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he said.
And Van Jones still tried to keep going.
Yeah, Van Jones kept trying to go. He goes, oh, well, President Trump has done this, for this person, this for this person, Why isn't it that, black man like you, he hasn't got in contact with? And he goes, and Mr. Shaw goes, look, that has nothing to do with anything. You asked me to come on your show. I'm not looking for any recognition whatsoever.
Yeah. To him, if the president never calls him, he's still okay with it. Because he didn't do it to become famous.
He did it because he was a decent human being.
And it was something that he stood up and did something that other people weren't doing. And nothing against the people who didn't do anything when it was happening. A lot of people, when you Unless you've ever been shot at, you have no idea what the hell's going on, and you think your life's about to come to an end, and you have a tendency to freeze up.
That's why it's called the flight or fight instinct.
Yep. You know, so it doesn't surprise me that Van Jones is like that, because Van Jones has a history. So so does that other chick that's over on MSNBC.
Sandra.
No. The chick that looks like a dude.
No.
Anyway, she absolutely hates him, and their two shows, they will do everything in their power to find everybody they possibly can who absolutely hates the President of the United States of America, because their person didn't get elected, and they're just going to keep on with that mantra until he's no longer in office. Then they'll find a new target. They'll find a new person to do that to.
Yeah.
It's how it works. And it was Bush for the years he was in office. Now it's Trump. It just happens. So, the man is a hero. I don't think that you cannot tell me that Trump doesn't think the man's a hero.
No.
You know, and I'm pretty certain that yes, he wants to invite him over to the White House for dinner. That is probably a legitimate thing. The problem is then his scheduling agent or people and the press secretary and the Secret Service all have to work together to figure out how to make this happen.
Because not only are they going to bring Shaw, they're going to bring Shaw's family.
Everybody. So, and like I said, I'm really hoping that he gets nominated for the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Honestly, because it's very well deserved.
He fucking earned it more than Ellen DeGeneres did, and she got it.
Yeah.
It's my opinion, but,
yeah.
So be it. So let's go ahead and move on with the next story.
Yes. So apparently now going on in 21 states in the United States.
Yes. And this is something I've talked about on many occasions on all of my shows.
Yes, absolutely. So apparently now there are new service animal laws that are going into effect in 21 states. And this is honestly a huge thing because this is to combat, the whole...
everything is a service animal.
Yeah. Oh, this
I'm surprised we haven't seen a person on all fours with a collar around their neck suddenly become a service animal.
Yeah.
That's kind of kinky.
So right now, service animals, as defined by the American Disabilities Act, states that a service animal is primarily a dog or a mini horse, to some degree.
Those are the only two animals they officially certify.
Yeah. Those are the only two animals that can be officially certified by the American Disabilities Act.
Yep. As
a service animal. Okay? And these service animals are there to do a certain job. And they usually get years and years of training before, they go out to, whoever they're going to take care of. Okay? The only service pet or support animal, that is actually looked after by the American Disabilities Act is actually support animals for veterans with suffering from PTSD.
Yep.
Those are the only support animals that are protected by the ADA, as it states, in the actual act itself. So right now, these new laws are coming about because there have been multiple incidents that have been going on of people pretty much scamming, as they were saying, the system and bending the system and the rules to go ahead and let them do whatever they want by taking, Fifi or Fido to all these restricted places just because they don't want to be without them. And these incidents that...
And there's quite a few of them that have even said that they do it on purpose.
Yes. Because they like enjoying these, different places that other animals can't go to, but they can have their furry little friend right next to them, and enjoy it when nobody else can.
Or in some cases, feathery friend, because I saw duck I've seen ducks that they've got.
Yes, a wallaby was one of them too. So apparently, these incidents that they're talking about of fraudulence with service animals is, actual disabled Americans will have their actual service dog. And their service dog will be fatally attacked by somebody's support animal that has no training whatsoever.
Yeah, come in with a support Rottweiler.
Yeah. And then, their actual service dog has been fatally attacked and now their dog's gone.
Yep.
You know, so right now it's becoming where, you know, if there is actual fraudulent cases, you can receive misdemeanors, and you can also get fined. But also what this does is, in these 21 states that are supporting these laws, and the states are writing the laws themselves, pretty much what it does is that service animals are completely okay. Support animals, except for support animals relating for veterans with PTSD, because they are protected by the ADA, can be refused to be allowed on premises.
So yeah, so if you go in there with your support gerbil, they can turn around, look at you, go, get out.
If you take your support cat, they can say no. If you take your support alligator or support goat, like somebody took on the bus, they can say no.
Yeah, no, it's and like I said, one of the things that you know, and I've seen it where people have these things with vests on them, and that, you know, and people will tell you, all you got to do is just register the animal's name in a database. They don't even make you get certifications, and then you put a vest on them, and nobody can question you. I remember getting that briefing when I was a security guard at the Silver Legacy Casino. Well, people come in with a service animal, we can't ask them any questions. And I had somebody come in with a damn chicken. And I looked at him, I said, sir, you can't have the chicken. It's a support animal. And I had to walk away. I'm like, okay, I get on the radio. Like, so there's a support chicken in the casino. And it's like, you have a support chicken? I mean, how long is your chicken going to last? Not exactly the best support animal to have, because it's going to cost you more hell in the long run, because damn thing's going to die. And you're going to go through a lot of support chickens. And before too long, you won't be able to support your habit to have support chickens.
But they're going to be tasty, though.
You know, do you want a chicken that's died at old age? I don't think so.
Well, if you're hungry enough.
Very possible.
Yeah. No, but now in these 21 states, you know, if you have a support animal and you're not a veteran that has a support dog for PTSD, and if you're not an actual disabled American that has an actual service animal that is registered, because they have their own IDs and everything, then your support animal can be refused.
And
you cannot sue.
Yeah. Which, and I understand that, and it sucks, because there's, and of course, the moment you get into an argument with somebody about this, they're like, well, you don't know about that person. That's the way they keep calm, and so they could deal with life. It's like, the problem we have, and I hate to downgrade anybody who needs some kind of support. You rewind 20 years ago, 20 years ago, when I was, you know, how many people 20 years ago was walking into a goddamn into a Whole Foods with a fucking rabbit, claiming it as a support animal? None. In fact, service animals were actually kind of rare to see.
Service animals,
but it was very obvious they needed. Either the person was blind, you know, they had a tendency for epileptic seizures. The person was deaf. A person in a wheelchair.
Yes.
Obvious reason they needed a service animal.
Absolutely.
Not some chick walking in with a rabbit and saying, well, this is my service rabbit. It makes me feel like so much better. 20 years ago, we didn't have that.
No.
I mean, I get it that there are some people that do need, in order to cope with everyday life, they have these issues, and we used to just lock them up in a loony bin.
Yes.
Okay, so now we give them some way to cope. Okay, I get that. But it's like the girl who tried to take the fucking hamster onto a United Airlines flight.
I remember recording that story too.
And they told her, you can't take the hamster on there. Well, they told me I couldn't. This is my support hamster. Hamsters live, what, 2 years?
3.
What kind of fucking support animals? Every 2 years, it kicks the bucket. You gotta get another one. Okay. And what happened was they said, well, you can't get, well, I can't take it home. Well, you're not taking it on the plane. So she flushed it down the toilet. And then tried to say that she's going to sue people for it.
Yeah, because she was trying to say that the attendants told her, "Oh, well, you got an option. You can flush it down."
And no attendant said that. They said, "Look, I don't care what you do, but you ain't taking a hamster on the plane."
Now,
That's what they did say, which translated into, "Oh, they told me to flush my hamster down the toilet," which I didn't agree with, but I went ahead and did it.
That means you're a cynical sociopath.
No, that means you should probably be arrested for animal cruelty at that point.
Right. Now, I will say, I do have a support animal. I do have my dog.
Which is understandable.
Yeah, because I do suffer from PTSD and a bunch of other shit.
You suffer from PTSD, you have health conditions.
Yes.
It's understandable. You have a legitimate reason.
And honestly, if it wasn't for him, I feel like I'd have no reason to get out of bed. I just wouldn't care. But he's my responsibility, and I have to take care of him as best as I can.
But the thing is you have a legitimate service animal.
Yes.
Okay.
And I can't tell you how many times hell, even when we go to Walmart, I'll take Rock in, you've gone with us, and literally the ladies right there are is he a service animal? Which they are allowed to ask.
Yes.
Because the only 2 questions that they are allowed to ask, and this is actually from a lawyer from Michigan State, who's actually researched this because he is in animal law. The 2 questions that any business can ask is, do you have a disability? And is that a service animal?
Now, they can't ask you which disability you have. They're not allowed to ask that, but they can ask you if you have a disability.
No, they can ask you if you have a disability, and they can ask you, is that a service animal, and what service does he provide?
Yes.
That's what they are allowed to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Granted, they're not supposed to ask for any type of identification or any kind of paperwork or anything like that.
Yeah, but anybody who usually has a legitimate service animal, vest, they have that paper badge deal inside a clear pocket on the vest.
When I got Rocco registered and everything like that, and he had his vest was too small to actually have the pockets, so that's why they gave me the ID separately.
Mm-hmm.
And then so that way when he got older and got a new vest, it would actually have the thing on the side.
Yeah.
But, I still carry his ID with me, when I have him with me and everything like that. And sometimes they'll ask, oh, well, is this a service animal, blah, 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 blah. And I'll say, yes, and I'll immediately go ahead and show them his ID. And they're like, oh, wow, okay, yeah, he is. Because I know that if they go ahead and have that presence of mind, we're like, okay, this guy isn't trying to fucking bullshit us.
Yeah.
Then everything's going to be okay. And they're not going to be trying to keep an eye on you and think that your dog's going to piss all over the fucking produce.
Yeah. Or your dog's not going to hop up on the produce bin and start eating the produce.
Exactly.
But I'm glad that they're finally stepping up and doing something about this because,
it's gotten ridiculous.
It has. Suddenly everything can be a service animal, and it's gotten asinine, and it's bad for the people who actually need a service animal.
Yeah. All right. So
let's move on.
All right. So in news, apparently today it has been thrown out there that there's going to be a reestablishment of the United States Navy's Second Fleet.
Yes, the old Second Fleet.
Yes, and that is going to be headed by Admiral John Richardson,
who's a 3-star admiral.
Yes, he is a 3-star admiral in the U.S. Navy, and apparently what's going to happen is right now the Second Fleet is strictly on paper. They are a naval fleet on paper.
All the ships from the original Second Fleet have been put into other fleets.
Yes.
None of them have been decommissioned.
Correct. None of the ships in the Second Fleet have been decommissioned. It's just been reallocated to different fleets to go ahead and support them, so that way they can go ahead and... With the exception
of the carrier.
Yeah.
The carrier sitting down here...
In Pascagoula.
In Pascagoula, Mississippi, in dry dock at the repair yard getting work done to it.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Yes, so... the whole reason why they went ahead and took those ships out of Second Fleet, when Second Fleet was established, was that we can go ahead and cycle ships out in the other fleets, so that way any ships that need to come and get repairs or get retrofitted or anything like that, go ahead and do that without, the replacing fleet
not being now
losing any power.
Yep.
But, so Second Fleet will also be stationed at Norfolk. Norfolk, Virginia, along with a JCF for NATO.
Yep.
Yeah. So Joint Command Force, Joint Command NATO forces will be stationed at Norfolk to work hand in hand with Second Fleet. And the whole reason why that we're even bringing back Second Fleet that was de-established back in 2011 is because of Russia.
Yes, Russia has evidently increased its activity in the Atlantic again. They have now launched a brand new Russian submarine.
Yes, they have.
They have sent out ships out into the Atlantic, and they're starting to get ever so closer to that kind of unwritten border to where the United States and Russia.
Well, so far, what's happened in the Atlantic is that the U.S. and the Russians have already had 4 instances where they have met head-to-head, where it could have broken down to actual naval warfare because of how close Russia was getting to U.S. maritime borders.
Yeah.
And the whole reason why that Russia's been doing this is they've been poking and prodding and probing to check out exactly what our security is like. You know, so that way, you know, to check our response times, to check to see what we're going to do.
And it's a normal thing, though.
It is a normal thing.
It happens all the time.
But, you know, with the launch of a new submarine, you know, and apparently their submarine tech is starting to close the gap with ours.
Yeah, because, of course, you guys, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen K-19, the Widowmaker.
Yes.
And, you know, where they had to rush to catch up with us with the nuclear submarines. And they end up killing a lot of people in the process.
Yes.
Well, they pretty much almost shut down their nuclear submarine program, and they rebuilt it, and they went back and reworked it, and and Russia has nuclear class submarines.
Yes. Which they just launched a brand new nuclear submarine.
But now they've got another one where they're now starting to advance where they're at to reach where the United States is.
Yes.
And I will tell you right now that I would not like to see a Russian Navy be able to be toe-to-toe with the United States Navy.
And even Russia has been saying that they are already working on the tech to have an underwater nuclear drone.
Yeah, the United States Navy has submarine drones.
Yeah, but not nuclear ones.
So there you go.
Yeah, we don't have nuclear-powered submersible drones. Russia's already working on it, and
yeah, the only problem is a reactor that small and unmanned is a very dangerous thing.
It is. It's essentially a freaking floating A-bomb.
Not really. No, because if it's powered by nuclear, it's the nuclear material to create energy is not the same as a bomb. So you would not have. You would have you would have radiological contamination.
Yeah.
But the having it basically turning into the Castle Bravo fucking bomb. Is not. You were not even close to that.
I think what they're trying to do is think of like a Predator drone but underwater.
But with a nuclear power plant, so it can go limitlessly to wherever it wants to go in the world.
Correct.
The problem is making a reactor that small. To where you never have to worry about it because you don't have a person monitoring it.
Yes.
And we know the last time the Russians entrusted nuclear operation to the readouts of a computer system, we had Chernobyl.
Yes, we did.
So,
yeah.
Still human error, but the computer system told them something completely wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, with that, it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what's going to happen. So Second Fleet's going to be made up of 250 officers, 250 personnel, where it's going to be 84 officers, 120, it's 83 officers, 120 something seamen, and then 7 civilians.
Okay. All right.
So that's what they're looking at, you know, for the number breakdown, and they will be standing up officially as an actual fully formed fleet by July 1st. On July 1st is when they're flagged. So it's coming up in 2 months.
Yeah. And so that brings us to our next story.
Yes.
So one of the things I noticed today is because I listen to the news and everything, I want to bring this little tidbit up because people like to argue the whole freedom of speech thing and oh, our freedom of speech is being infringed upon. Okay, let me explain to you.
Hold on to your fucking seats.
Let me explain to you something, a situation that currently happened today, to where you should be damn glad that we have the freedom of speech the way that we do. Somebody simply telling you that, hey, look, we don't want you to come here and spout your shit. It's not a violation of freedom of speech. Now, if what had happened today in Russia happened in the United States, my God, the fallout would be nuts.
Yes, it would.
Well, Russia's going through its elections right now.
No. The elections are done. This was actually done a few days prior to Putin going back into office for the 4th term.
Yes, which is unprecedented. Okay, well, people were protesting because they believed that Putin rigged the election.
Yes.
Okay, so they went out and they protested in the street, and it was supposed to be just a couple people. It wasn't going to be a big deal, just a couple people going out. Turned into a couple hundred people going out, and the police went in and started arresting people.
It didn't come out to a couple hundred. It ended up being 1,200 people at one site. But there was hundreds of people at 97 other places.
Yes, but the police still went in and started arresting people. They weren't rioting.
No.
They were simply protesting. And the police went in, started beating people up.
And throwing them in buses.
And they're going off to some fucking Russian prison camp somewhere.
Correct. And, this all comes about from the person who was running against Putin in the election. Is the one that went ahead and said, hey, let's do a protest, to end corruption. Because apparently they were saying that 36 million people still have not voted in Russia. And Alexei, I forgot his last name, person who's running against Trump, said that those people should...
Running against Putin? Not Trump.
Sorry, running against Putin. Sorry, because we've been talking about U.S. elections. Running against Putin should have had, the right to be able to vote instead of, closing the polls early.
Yeah. And so, like I said, the next time you want to think that somebody's not getting their freedom of speech and everything else, simply because they're told that they can't do it in a certain spot, doesn't mean they can't do it 100 feet over. They just can't do it where they're at. Think about our friends over in Russia who can't even protest against a very corrupt government. They get beat up by the cops, arrested, thrown into a bus, and are probably off to some Siberian prison camp now.
Yeah, most likely.
So so don't forget, folks, to enjoy the freedoms you have, because you could be like them. Yeah. They don't have a freedom of speech.
No.
So anyway, go on with the next story.
All right, so apparently there is a African American woman who is a student at American University in Washington, D.C. She was elected as the president of the student body.
Yep.
So not only was she elected as president of the student body for American University, she is the first African American to be voted in as president of the
student body. Was it African American female voted in?
No, African American.
Just African American, okay.
African American. Okay?
Just making sure I clarify that.
Yeah. So with that, after she got elected, apparently some douche.
This guy.
Alright, he...
If there was ever a guy who needed to be executed for just being a complete asshat, this would be your guy.
So what this guy ended up doing is he apparently runs a neo-Nazi troll site. That's the best way to describe it. When you see the
picture of this guy, he looks like your stereotypical neo-Nazi.
So apparently what he did was, as soon as he found out that she was elected as president of the student body, he went ahead, along with some other people, decided to take bananas and hang them from nooses all around the student campus.
Yes.
And on each of the bananas, there were different phrases written on it, like Harambe bait, and also AKA free. And AKA is one of the college houses, in the whole Greek fraternity, sorority type deal. That is all black on that campus.
Yeah, this guy's an asshat.
Okay. So, not only that, but he's been putting her on blast on his Trollstorm site. And apparently a slew of people random people and fake people and everything like that, fake profiles have been taken to her Twitter and her Facebook and sending her messages of hate, racism, trolling, so on and so forth, to the point where, she's even received death threats.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where she is traumatized, and she does not feel safe anywhere that she goes. And she literally carries pepper spray with her now because she's afraid that someone's going to attack her. The reason why this is brought up is because even though we think that everything's fine and dandy and there's so many other things going on that we can freaking go ahead and completely just think of something else and not worry about that and distract ourselves. These things are still happening. There's still racism going on. There's still hate. There's still so much crap going on. Excuse me. But you gotta understand, people. This is one of those things where it is not okay for this shit to fucking happen.
No.
Okay, it's not okay to receive death threats. It's not okay to receive hate. It's not okay to receive racism, racist comments, anything like that. No, it's not okay. Luckily, she has stood up for herself, and she goes, okay, look. She went ahead, got lawyers involved, and filed with the federal court against this guy to sue him, for damages caused, and especially, for PTSD, and, all this other crap. Even in a prestigious university here in the United States, this shit's still happening.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't.
Nope.
It's ignorant.
It is. It's extremely ignorant. It's not acceptable. And like I said, if there was ever a good reason to eliminate an asshat from this earth, he qualifies as that good reason.
Yes.
So, let us move on.
Yes. So, apparently, getting back into politics, which we just so love, don't we? So, apparently, for those of you who know, Senator Pelosi, or Representative.
No.
Senator.
She's a congresswoman.
Yeah, Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi apparently has her identity politics completely all mucked about. What we mean by that is apparently she made a comment during a speech that she gave to, Congress that went from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. It was the longest speech given in Congress.
Yeah, it was basically her filibustering.
But it wasn't a filibuster, though. It was a speech.
Yeah, I know, but it was done on purpose.
It was.
It had more than just the whole identity politics thing behind it.
Well,
and it was also meant as a stall tactic.
Yeah, it was meant as a stall tactic, but what she really talked about, what she really focused on, was the Dreamers. That's what she focused on. But the thing is, she brought up something that really upset a lot of people. For a woman who definitely talks about, God's grace and, being Christian and, having a Christian heart and turning the other cheek and so on and so forth, she goes ahead and says that, all these decisions are made up by 5 white guys at a table. That is the reason why that the Democrats actually lost the majority seating in the House back in 2016.
Yeah, because they're sitting there trying to blame everybody else but themselves.
Exactly, but not only that, not only are they blaming other people except for themselves when they're the reasons for the cause, because they're the cause of whatever the fuck happened, but they're also stereotyping. They're using the whole, inequality shit. They're like, oh, well, because these are, cisgender, straight white males. We can't trust them. Because they're white and because they're males.
Yeah, pretty much that's the mantra that's going around everywhere now.
It is. And honestly, it pissed off so many people, especially with elections coming up, midterm elections.
Yeah.
I honestly don't see the Dems holding majority anytime soon.
They'll pull off more than you think, but I don't think that they'll be regaining majority in the House of Representatives, at least.
No. But it just goes to show that not only is shit like this happening with people around us, just here in public,
Yeah.
but it's also happening in between the people that we elect as our leaders.
Yep.
To represent us. You know, and I don't see myself like that. Do you?
No.
So what are we going to do?
Don't re-elect them.
Don't elect stupid people, play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on.
Alright, so I don't think we need to worry about China. Do you think we need to worry about China?
No. Let's move on from
Alright,
that.
so apparently in Texas, a woman decides to shoot herself in front of a fucking Walmart.
Yes, evidently, what is that?
Paige Bisher.
Yes, 45 years old. 43? Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. My eyes are kind of blurry. I'm freaking exhausted. So anyway, she was being, she had been charged with several counts of corruption and was looking like she was going to do some serious time for this.
Yeah, today was actually her sentencing day.
Yeah, she was already found guilty. She was going to do some time. Well, she took herself in front of the Walmart right there in, what is that? In
Humble.
Yeah, that's it.
Humble, Texas.
Humble, Texas. And she shot herself in the chest and died.
In case you want to know exactly what it is that she did, like the core of it, she embezzled $1.2 million out of the business that she was working as a secretary for in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently what happened was, while she was working as a secretary, she had actually started writing herself checks from the company's Strongbox.
Yep.
You know, while she was working there, and finally, you know, when the owner of the company said, hey, you know, I need you to go ahead and hand me the book so I can go ahead and check it to see what's going on. Instead of handing the books over, she quit. So that was a fucking red flag right there.
That tells you immediately we need to really check these books.
And that's how they found that she had taken off with $1.2 million.
Mm.
So she heard that, you know, if she was going to get sentenced, she was going to be paying a really long stint.
Yep.
So she decided to go ahead and shoot herself.
And she did. And she's dead. And guess
Yes.
what? Taxpayers in the state of Texas are not going to have to worry about covering her.
Correct.
Sorry, I have no sympathy. I have no sympathy for you.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
She didn't even really... No, I wouldn't even call that playing stupid games. She actually saved the taxpayers a lot of money.
She did.
So there you go.
Yes. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and move on to our next story. It actually takes us across the waters to India.
Yes.
And this boiled your blood. It boiled my blood.
Well, and it's because I don't understand how this is a fucking sentence. If you think we're light on shit, oh, wait till you hear this.
So, in India, apparently 14 people were arrested after the rape and death of a 16-year-old girl. And the reason why this really upsets me, actually, I'm not even going to get into that. But, so apparently what happened was the 16-year-old girl, she went to her cousin's wedding. While at the wedding, she was abducted by these men, and she was raped. So she went ahead and told the parents. Told the parents exactly who it was, yada, yada, yada. Parents go to the village elders. Which, in that country, you know, that's a typical thing. The village elders go ahead and take care of stuff within the community before they go ahead and get the government involved. Because if they get the government involved, then they have to pay out of pocket to get the government in.
Exactly.
So usually the village elders, they take care of it, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
So the village elders, they went ahead and called all those guys up. All the guys, you know, they were presented in front of the village elders. The village elders said, okay, we understand that you did this, you did this, you did this. All right, you were guilty. In order for you to go ahead and, you know, make things right, you have to pay $750 each and do 100 sit-ups.
For gang raping a 16-year-old girl they abducted.
Yes. So, a few days later, these guys
They took care of all this. They paid it.
Yeah.
They paid it. Did their sit-ups.
These guys went and found the parents, beat the ever-living piss out of the parents.
Yep.
Then went to the house where the girl was alone and set her on fire.
I thought they raped her again, then set her on fire.
No.
Okay.
No. They raped her first, went to the elders, and then they set her on fire.
What I understand is in some parts of India, if you get caught raping a girl, they will take you. They will take you before a judge. The judge will sit there and rule immediately on whether or not you did or you didn't, and then they will take you out in the street and fucking shoot you in front of everybody.
Yes.
Why doesn't the rest of the country have that rule?
Well, the reason why is because in the country's actually divided into two separate systems. You have Northern and you have Southern.
Mm-hmm.
Northern is predominantly Muslim.
Got it.
So now does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Southern is primarily Hindu.
Mm.
So now you see the difference why.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so because we're gonna have to go ahead and move on because I'm starting to get heated from that because those are supposed to be my people and
We could go in a very dark place in that.
yes, we can. All right, so moving on. Apparently there was an NRA convention in Dallas this weekend.
Not apparently.
No, there was.
No. You said apparently there was, meaning
Yeah.
supposedly or
Yeah.
reported that there was. There was an NRA convention in Dallas. The
There
President of
was.
the United States visited
Yeah.
the NRA and gave a speech.
Yeah. There was an NRA convention in Dallas, and there was over 80,000 people in attendance.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I mean, Texas is a carry state.
Yes, it is. I still have a Texas LTC.
There you go.
Yeah. So there was over 80,000 people in attendance at this NRA convention in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of NRA conventioners were going into this restaurant called Ellie's, which is in Dallas.
Yes.
Apparently, these people are so fucking stupid that they definitely lost a lot of fucking business with this little fucking stunt that they did.
Yep.
So they knew that the NRA convention was in town. They decided on the bottom of the receipt, where most stores, you know, they have a nice little message on the bottom of the receipt saying, hey, you know, thank you for purchasing, blah, blah, blah. Thank you for being a really awesome customer. Hope to get your, you know, return service. They decided to put, thanks for visiting Ellie's. A portion of this week's proceeds will be donated to organizations dedicated to implementing reasonable and effective gun regulations. Welcome to Dallas.
That is the dumbest thing. I mean, I get it. People have their opinions about this shit. Okay? No, we don't want people to own guns. Okay, but it is the dumbest damn thing ever. I mean, the bad part is I'd want to call that restaurant on that. Okay, fine. Let me see the donations.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they are. I think they did this on a receipt to get 5 minutes of fame, and this is a stunt.
That's exactly what it is. Because, honestly, with a business like that, you need people coming in to sell food.
Yep.
And literally, when it comes to a restaurant, your profit margins are very, very slim. You're looking at 5 to 10%.
Yeah.
Out of everything else is what you'll be making in profit. And then out of that profit, you still have to pay everybody. Okay? Mm-hmm. Not only did you fuck yourself out of business, that was over 80,000 fucking people.
Yes.
That could have potentially came in and bought your food.
Yes.
Which apparently I heard is actually really good.
It is. I've been there.
Yeah.
It's a nice place. It really is. The staff is courteous, usually courteous, and it's a little, it can be a little on the pricey side, but the food's good.
Y'all just fucked yourselves.
Yeah.
Out of 80,000 people.
There's a lot of people that are going to say now not to go, and as many NRA card-carrying members as there is in the state of Texas, you're going to be relying a lot more off of tourism now.
Yep. Quit doing stupid shit.
Right.
Alright, so moving on.
Let us move on.
Alright, so The VA made it into the news again. Right?
Yeah.
Now, thank God it wasn't VA that I go to, because that one was really nice. Apparently this one is a piece of fucking shit.
Which a lot of them are, because a lot of the VA hospitals used to be other hospitals that were worn down, and they built a new hospital, and the VA came in and took it over.
Yeah. Exactly, just like the one in Temple.
Yep.
So apparently the VA hospital in West Los Angeles, in California, had to cancel and postpone multiple surgeries.
For how long?
From all the way back since November 2016.
Yep.
So for 2 years, just about 2 years, no, year and a half. Yeah, a year and a half. Something like that. So a year and a half of canceling and postponing these surgeries that's needed by these veterans.
Mm-hmm.
All because they had a fly infestation.
Yes, and flies everywhere.
Throughout this whole entire wing, they had, so many fucking fly traps in the hallways, above beds, outside the surgery ward, so on and so forth, just filled with flies, and they just kept coming and coming and coming. Finally, that lead surgeon for that surgery ward tells the secretary of that VA saying, hey, we have a fly infestation. This needs to be taken care of because this is a sanitation issue. I no longer have a sterile, surgery room. No more.
Nope.
So the secretary of that VA went ahead and got in touch with the head secretary of the VA.
Yes.
And as soon as it was reported, the secretary of that VA got fired. The surgeon said something again, and the surgeon got fired.
Mm-hmm.
But now, what we're looking at is you have gross negligence. And this isn't just this VA. This is multiple VAs throughout the entire nation that are just like this. I'm just glad that the new secretary of the VA is actually stepping up and trying to get into the top of it.
Yeah, so am I.
It's going to be a long road, but
I just don't understand why they couldn't put together the money and just hire an ABC Pest Control.
I have no idea. I mean, honestly.
Neither do I.
But then again, they're also running on government funds, and you know how that works.
This is very true.
Yeah. All right, so. Oh my God. So we have volcano eruption that happened
in the Big Island,
in Kona, where when it first happened, it was what, 4.6?
4.8.
A 4.8 earthquake on the Richter scale that blew the top, or no, it made the top collapse on Kilauea.
Yeah, it basically when it happened, the dome collapsed.
Yeah, the dome collapsed on Kilauea, which went ahead and started releasing the lava and everything like that, making it actually become active. Since then, it's already been 1 day. It's already had 2 back-to-back earthquakes, with the largest one scaling at 6.9 on the Richter scale.
Almost a 7.0, which is really not a horribly common thing to happen in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So
after that 6.9 earthquake, 8 fissures have opened up along the island.
Now, I know, like you said before when we discussed this, that, it's going to relieve some of the pressure. Problem was, same thing happened in Mount St. Helens.
Yeah.
And Mount St. Helens blew half the side of the mountain off.
Yeah. Yeah, there is that.
Yeah, so there's no guarantee that those fissures are going to relieve enough pressure to prevent the big eruption from happening.
Yeah. But, so far there's been 1,200 people who have been evacuated from the island because, their houses are all along Kilauea. And apparently it's starting to hit tourist season too, so because of that, people are being told and evacuated and so on and so forth. So, thoughts and prayers to them. Hopefully they come out good.
Yep.
You okay?
Yeah, no, I'm fine.
Okay. So in case you guys didn't know, apparently on Thursday, the Carnival Dream Cruise ship had a water leak on Thursday.
On one of its decks, one of the water systems in it busted.
And it flooded the deck.
It flooded over 50 rooms and the hallway.
Yeah, and then, and it's like, you understand that you're on a boat, and the boat has water on the outside.
Yes.
Well, when you have water on the inside of the boat, you're automatically thinking, oh my God, the boat's going to sink.
Yes.
But a pipe busted.
Pipe busted, and they were out at sea at the same time, too.
At least it wasn't a sewage pipe.
Correct.
That would have been horrible.
Yes, it would. But, so Carnival, in order to go ahead and alleviate, whatever, what's the word I'm looking for? Where inconvenience. For their inconvenience, having to deal with it. Their entire cruise, for all people who were in those 50 rooms on that deck that was affected by the water pipe, are getting 100% reimbursement for that cruise. The next cruise that they take with Carnival, they get a 50% deduction.
Yep.
Plus, when they get back to port, they have the option to go ahead and fly back home. If they choose to, whenever they get to the next port.
Mm-hmm.
So, it fucking sucks that they had to go ahead and go swimming inside the hallway.
To get their own stuff?
Yeah. Instead of going out to the pool that's on the deck. But, hey, at least nobody got hurt.
This is very, very true.
And apparently, the crew of the ship went ahead and got everything taken care of. Really nice, really quick. And they literally got all the water out of there fucking quick, fast, and fucking hurry.
Yep.
Yeah. Alright, so moving on. Let's see. Should we go with the analog clocks?
Not really.
No?
I think everybody knows that the youth in the world's getting dumber.
Yes. Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Real quick, we won't give an opinion on this because we just did. UK schools are now changing all of their normal analog clocks. We say analog clock. It has an arm for the hour and a bigger arm for the minutes. Anyway, they're removing all those clocks and putting in digitals because their kids can't tell time. Well, they're fucking idiots. Let's move on.
Moving on. So, today, out of Vandenberg Air Base on the West Coast, NASA InSight mission to Mars has launched, and it was a complete success.
Yes, and also the reason why this is a big issue, because a lot of people are like, well, this isn't really a big issue. Yes, it is. It's the first mission to another planet that is launched from the West Coast.
Yes.
This is the first time.
Yes. This is the first time a mission to another planet has been launched on the West Coast. And on top of that, it's the first mission to Mars in, 8 years?
Yes.
Yeah, since Curiosity was set up there.
Yes.
Yes, it is. So what InSight's job is supposed to do is supposed to go ahead, when it hits the surface, it's going to go ahead and drill down into Mars to go ahead and measure seismic activity. If there is any at all, which, of course there should be. So that way they can go ahead and get a read, so when we go ahead and do a manned mission to Mars, we can understand exactly what the seismic activity would be for the planet and go ahead and compensate for that.
Yes.
Yes. So, moving on to weird news.
Yay, weird news.
Weird news. So apparently, Kennisworth School District Superintendent in Holmdel, New Jersey, has been arrested.
Frickin' Jersey.
For pooping.
Yes, that's right. Ladies and gentlemen, this man is, for reasons unknown, has taken himself out to the football or track field.
Yes.
And is taking a shit out on the 50-yard line. Every day.
Every day.
Just goes out there, drops trowel, and gets out of there. Nobody knows why.
But apparently, he actually got caught in the act.
Yes, one of the times he had his pants down around his ankles getting ready to dump the load of fertilizer onto the field. Somebody saw this, and he went running off. Well, they were able to identify who he was, and they reported it, and now he's gone.
Yes.
I think personally he should be arrested for it.
He did get arrested.
Oh, he did get arrested for it. I missed that part.
Yes, he got arrested.
Oh, I thought he just got fired.
No, he got arrested.
Wouldn't surprise me if he just got fired.
But he's been arrested, but he is, unfortunately, on paid leave.
That's because he's part of teachers union.
Yeah, there's
and he's got tenure.
Yeah, paid leave, and he's making $121,000 a year.
Yep.
That son of a bitch.
And he did it. He was getting paid to shit on the field, even though that's not what they were paying him for. That's what he was doing.
Yes.
And getting paid for it. Fucking superintendents.
So, there's this one store that I kind of like walking around. I think you might know the store.
Okay.
Okay? Store's IKEA.
Oh, that's that place where they sell you furniture that comes in pieces. You have to go home, read the instructions, and by the time it's done, you and your wife end up with a divorce.
Yes.
Because y'all are arguing and bitching over how it goes together.
Yeah. And then, of course, you want to get the Kugel, but the other one's fucking better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, apparently, while I'm walking around, sometimes I'd like to go over to the snack bar and get, the Swedish meatballs.
Yes.
Because they're just really fucking good. Well, apparently, the Swedish meatballs that they sell at IKEA aren't actually Swedish.
No.
They're from 1,200 miles away. They come from Turkey.
Yep.
Not the fucking animal. Not the bird. The country.
Yeah.
It just so happens that the actual IKEA Twitter account went ahead and released a statement saying, hey, our famous meatballs, well, it turns out that they are not Swedish, they are actually Turkey.
There you go.
And somebody actually...
Being honest and getting ahead of it.
Exactly. Being honest, getting ahead of it. They gave an update.
Yes.
So
It was not a we were incorrect.
Yeah, it was an update. So apparently, somebody actually decided to go ahead and do some research and actually found a cookbook that was written by King Louis XII, who actually brought the recipe during his trip to Turkey back to Sweden.
Got it.
And they actually found the cookbook from his chef de partie, which executive chef, back in that day, which actually had the recipe.
Mm.
So it's actually Turkish. So I thought that was pretty cool.
There you go.
Made with veal. So now we're gonna move from Sweden all the way to Texas.
We're back in Texas again, folks.
Not just anywhere in Texas, but we're going to Brownsville, Texas.
Yes.
Apparently, there's a tiger loose over there.
Yeah, some illegal aliens decided they were going to go across the border with a black duffel bag. Well, they got captured, left the duffel bag behind. Inside the duffel bag was a tiger cub.
Yes, an unconscious tiger cub. So, Homeland Security, the Border Patrol, they went ahead and took the cub over to one of the sanctuaries, where the cub is actually doing okay now. So the cub is fine, everything's good.
Yeah.
And they're going to go ahead and help take care of it and then take it to a sanctuary.
Good deal.
Yeah, so that is one thing that I'm okay with putting in a sanctuary.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay, so moving on. So apparently University Library in Melbourne, Australia got evacuated due to something that was not a gas leak. The reason why we go ahead and say that is because it smelled like a gas leak, but it wasn't a gas leak.
There is a difference.
There is a difference. But this one thing that made them think it was a gas leak was actually fruit. It just so happens that there was a thing of durian fruit in the cupboard at the university library. In case you don't know what durian is, durian comes from Malaysia. It's a spiky, spiny fruit where we can go ahead and crack it open and it has the most horrific fucking smell.
Oh god, it is fucking horrible.
Oh, it smells like... it smells like toenails with toe jam, mixed with curry. Has been garnished with an old gym sock.
I wouldn't go quite that far. I'll tell you a story about the time I had to deal with one of these fruits. Now, I've eaten it, and it tastes wonderful.
I've eaten it,
it's
too.
amazing. But the smell... I got one in the back of my truck, or back of my FedEx truck, and I went to go deliver it. And when I went to put this in the back of my truck, I bumped the box a little bit so it kicked the smell up. And the smell was horrible. So I went out and got a tape gun at the terminal, and I brought a bunch of rolls of tape with me. And I kept taping the box until there was no way in hell that the air that's inside the box could leak out with that smell. And I still could smell it the whole day in the back of the truck.
Yeah.
Fucking disgusting. But like I said, man, it tastes good.
Yeah, it has the consistency of custard.
Yep.
And it has this sweet strawberry, banana, kiwi fucking taste to it. But it's just the fucking smell.
it's not good.
Alright, so, moving on. Apparently, cops in London went ahead and shut down a rave that happened inside of a Toys R Us.
Yes. And by the way, folks, for a clarification point, no, this Toys R Us is not an open Toys R Us. This is a building that was formerly Toys R Us.
When I told him the story, he's all like, wait, I thought Toys R Us went bankrupt and shut down.
And which they did.
They did. Yes. But no, it just so happens that, you know, people went inside, snuck into this building that used to be Toys R Us, still had Jeffrey the Giraffe outside and everything, and decided to have a rave. Well, apparently the police went ahead, went inside, hoping to find that it was just a bunch of people who were sitting around a Teddy Ruxpin, reading them stories around glow sticks.
Yeah.
That's what they were hoping, but ends up it wasn't. So they're like, hey, you know, just go ahead and get out.
Not what happened.
No, not at all. Now, here's a fucking crazy-ass fucking story that's coming about.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently 3 people got charged with theft of over 20 fucking grand for stealing Victoria's Secret lingerie.
Yes.
Victoria's Secret lingerie. 20 grand worth. That's like 10 panties and like 5 bras.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, no, actually it's like 400 panties, which is actually the number that we're looking at. Apparently, 3 people who were working for the production and shipment fulfillment center for Victoria's Secret, where they go ahead, when people go ahead and purchase, you know, online, you know, lingerie and panties and bras and whatever fucking other shit that Victoria's Secret has. They'll go ahead, package it in, you know, barcoded plastic sheets and put it in boxes and ship it out. All these 3 people decide to go ahead and start sneaking out, you know, a bunch of fucking packages at a time.
Mm.
And then sell it online.
Yeah.
Well, when a lot of people started going ahead and saying, hey, you know, we haven't received our orders.
Yeah.
You know, it's late by a few weeks. What's going on? That's when they started investigating. So, when they went ahead and found this one person who was selling brand new, in package, Victoria's Secret underwear and undergarments and lingerie,
Mm-hmm.
they started noticing in the pictures that they were in the same plastic envelopes with the barcodes that the shipment center uses to track them.
Yeah, not exactly the brightest crowns in the box.
No, not at all.
Not even remotely close.
No. So they went ahead, got caught. They've been charged with multiple counts of multiple felonies, with, you know, with multiple counts of grand theft, totaling more than, what was it, $3,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's been almost like fucking 20. It was over 20 grand. But their bail has been set for 35 grand altogether for the 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to go ahead and get out, and they're going to have sentencing soon. So moving on to our last story of the night.
Yes.
We're going to talk about another fucking idiot.
Yes.
Okay? This guy decided to go ahead, break into a fucking store, and use Play-Doh to try and detach the spider anti-theft systems around electronics that you see, you know, at stores like Walmart.
Yeah, they got the little
like
cables they wrap around with the disc on the front, and it interacts with the big stands that are at the door. So when you
Yes.
go through them, sets the alarms off.
Yeah. So what he tried to do was he tried to go ahead and use Play-Doh to try and disable the alarm, but it didn't work. So he gave up and took off. Well, it turns out that this fucking idiot messing around with the fucking Play-Doh left fucking fingerprints.
Yes.
Molded into the fucking Play-Doh.
And if you've ever played with Play-Doh, the moment you pick it up and start moving around in your hand, you take your hand away, everywhere you touch, your fingerprints are there.
Yes.
It's a great fingerprint caster. If you've got some Play-Doh around the house, you've never seen this before, take the Play-Doh. Just smooth it out in your hand so you got a layer of it, and then just take your thumb. Just take your thumb and push into it. You don't have to roll your thumb from side to side like you would a finger printer.
Just barely touch it.
Just press your thumb into it, and it will wrap up around your thumb, and it will leave an indentation of your fingerprint inside that Play-Doh.
Yes.
So, now anybody's ever messed with Play-Doh knows this shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this motherfucker is just fucking stupid.
This guy definitely not a brightest crayon in a box. I mean, the engine's running, but nobody's behind the wheel. And when he found out that it didn't work, when the alarms went off, he dropped the shit and bailed.
Yeah.
Okay? They found him because the fingerprint in the Play-Doh. Because if you do it right and if you spread it out properly, okay, you can take an image, picture image of it, and match it up. You could take that Play-Doh back to if you live in a town that's not modernized, they do it the old way. Most of your sheriff's department, including mine, I just sucked at using that machine. Every time I had to run somebody's fingerprints, it was like, let's see. Oh, it's kind of like a Rorschach test at that point.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that looks like a chicken. But anyway. But what you could do is you could take it if you're really good at being able to flatten it out, so you have a good flat imprint. All you got to do is just take a little bit of dusting powder, just a little bit. You don't have to do the normal amount you do on a fingerprint.
No, just a little.
And then you just lay it down on top of that scanner,
mm-hmm.
and then it will sit there and gets it perfect every time.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it was recommended to me while I was a sheriff. Why don't you just have the inmates put their fucking fingers into the clay? And just, there you go. Hey, look, it's perfect. Way to go, Wilson. You know, but how do you not think that your fingerprints are going to be left behind like that is what amazes me on how this person has made it to adulthood in life without dying.
I have no idea, to be honest.
At some point in his life, he's so stupid. Somebody had to remind this idiot to breathe. I'm pretty sure somebody looking at go, dude, breathe, you're fucking turning colors, pal.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's how dumb this shit is.
Yes.
You know, I was like, oh, God, what? It's like sticking your hand, like when the paint is just tacky. It's like sticking your hand in it, you pull your hand away, and you got these perfect fucking fingerprints everywhere, and you're like, don't ever fucking murder somebody on this bench, because they're coming, they only have to dust it. Oh, okay. It's your toast. They're coming to get you.
There you go.
So, we had some winners in the storyline tonight.
Yes.
We really did.
Now, before we go ahead and go, we are going to go ahead and hit up on two things. Okay, so the first thing is we are currently at 88 subscribers.
Yes, which means, look, we've, 12 to go?
12 more to go.
12 to go. We get a custom URL, which it will then say youtube.com/The Raj and Rich Show. And somebody will be getting a brand new Toyota. That's right. So we only got to get 12 more.
12 more.
12 more. Which is awesome. 12 more to go.
And then we can finally do our fucking drawing and get our own fucking YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Well, custom URL on YouTube.
Yes.
Yes. Now, speaking of custom things.
Yes.
Okay, so in case you have not noticed, myself and Rich are actually wearing the same exact t-shirt.
And you notice it looks a little professional.
Just a little bit. It just so happens because you designed it.
I did not design it. You're the one who designed it. I just gave you the website to do it on.
Shh. I'm not
It's
creative.
his design. Well, you're the one that said the catchphrase on there.
Just because I said the catchphrase in the heat of the fucking moment.
90% of this is your idea. I just gave you the website to do it on.
Shush.
No.
Alright, so moving on. So right now we actually do have Raj and Rich Show t-shirts for sale.
We do. We're wearing them.
Yes.
It says right here. It says R&R, The Raj and Rich Show. Done in Star Wars font.
Yes. Now, if you want, would you stand up and show them the back of your shirt?
I will. All right.
Look at that. It says, beat your kids. Save a life.
Now, I will guarantee you, if you wear this shirt out in public, you're going to have people ask questions.
Yes.
Why is that? Because we had that very thing happen. We decided when we got these shirts, we were going to go out in the public, we were going to wear them. And then we had people want to know about him. Now, when we walked into Best Buy, the guy at the door at Best Buy, and I apologize, didn't get his name, but he's a very deep voice guy. He's like, yeah.
He looks just like this.
You know,
dude worked out.
It looks like he could take out, if guy goes to shoplift, man, he's going to straight up NFL tackle him right there in the fucking...
Yeah, he was ready.
Okay, so anyway, loved the shirt, and he got it, and some of the people at Best Buy, they got it, but when we went to the buffet...
Yeah, we went to Sicily's.
Which I will tell you, folks, if you're in the Hampton area and you're looking for a buffet that's okay. Or Hampton area. Did I say Hampton area?
You did say Hampton.
Sorry.
If you're in the Gulfport,
Mississippi area, and you're looking for not the typical Chinese, all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet place, there's a place down here. It's called Sicily's. It's an Italian all-you-can-eat buffet. Oh, it is decent.
It is damn good.
Okay, it is decent. Check that out. But anyway, we were wearing our shirts in there, and we had people come up and ask us about our shirts. Now, they wanted to make sure that we were not advocating for child abuse.
Correct.
Okay, because when you say it's a beach kids save a life. But you may have to clarify with them, so make sure you know that we're not advocating for violence, and abuse. What we're advocating for is we feel that discipline
needs to be brought back.
Is missing in this world, and that's why this world has gone astray.
Correct.
So that and as soon as we told people that, they were all for it.
They're all like, "Yes, we agree."
Yes, in fact, we got an older couple that was there that they want to buy shirts, but they don't do the computer thing. So
correct,
we're going to make an arrangement with them
in fact, the husband was, what was it, ex sheriff.
Yeah, and so we're going to make an arrangement with them where once they decide they want to buy the shirts, we'll go ahead and order them their shirts, and then just go ahead when we get the shirts in, they'll give us the money for the shirts.
Yeah, so right now, if you go to teespring.com...
teespring.com
/ The Raj and Rich Show.
And don't worry, if you go to my Facebook page, you'll see where it's shared. You'll see it shared other places. We don't know why it came up with Raj... and symbol, and then weird shit, and then rich.
What it is, it's coding. It's coding.
Yeah, it's coding that comes up when you look at the link.
Yeah, it's coding on the website.
But don't worry, you'll see these see this shirt,
and we have them all the way from extra small to 5X.
5X, and
multiple colors too.
And the proceeds to the shirt sales is number one. If you could see it right now. The computer system that runs this show the case is off of it, and there's been a lot of technical issues with it, and we've been trying to fix that. We had a double hard drive failure. Yeah, we had a double hard drive failure. I've never had a simultaneous double hard drive failure ever. And of course the camera is getting old, and so we do need to replace some of the equipment in order to keep the show going.
Yes.
So if you like the show and you want the show to keep on going, and instead of us putting up like a GoFundMe page or something like that, what we decided to do is we're gonna make T-shirts and sell T-shirts so you guys can have a part of the show while also helping keep the show going.
Correct.
Now, if we sell more shows than it's required to upgrade the equipment and keep the equipment going at that point, then what we're going to do is we're going to take the remaining balance that's left over after we do get the stuff
and throw a pizza party.
No, we're not.
Oh.
We're going to donate the remaining amount of the money to abused children's shelters.
Yes.
As well, because we're not advocating for abuse.
Okay? We're not.
We just feel that the lack of discipline in this world is leading this country to where it is, and this country it will go to hell in a handbasket. Because, like, you take the Parkland shooter, for instance, and other people that have done dumb shit and cost a lot of lives, you go back into history, nobody ever did shit, and nobody ever put any real discipline in these people's lives. I was disciplined when I was a child, and I did a lot of dumb shit. But you know what? I have a lot of respect. I have respect for my surroundings and other people's lives.
Yes.
Same with you.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we do advocate for discipline. We do not advocate for abuse. We don't. So once we can get once we get the parts upgraded and stuff like that, if we still continue to sell shirts, then the money will be going to abused children's centers and stuff like that, and those natures. So
absolutely. And the great thing is that if you go ahead and purchase the T-shirt, they are $20 a piece. For regular shipping, it comes out to, I believe, like $3.99.
if you want to have it like soon, because what it does is it every 3 days they do a print run.
Yes, every 3 days they go ahead and do a print. Then after they do the print, then they go ahead and ship the shirts.
Yep.
But if you spend $6.99 for shipping,
Yep.
and it doesn't matter how many shirts you order, but it's $6.99 for that order.
Yep.
Then they will go ahead and print it immediately and ship it the next day.
There you go.
And then it'll be there within a few days. Like the day that we went ahead and started the campaign up, that was on a Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was on a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
It was on a Friday. So we went ahead and started the campaign on Friday. I ordered 2 shirts, one for me and one for him. Paid the $6.99. We got the shirts by Thursday.
Yeah, by Thursday next week.
So less than a week, we got the shirts.
Yeah, so there you go. So they come in a variety of different colors and a variety of different sizes.
Yes.
So if you, like I said, if you want to help out the show and have a piece of memorabilia from the show, your own personal memorabilia, go on to teespring.com, Raj and Rich Show, order you a shirt.
Yes. All right, so I think that's going to do it for us tonight.
And I'm glad we kind of cut some things off because I was over here struggling.
That's the reason why.
Yeah, I was over here struggling.
Yeah, trimmed a little bit of the fat.
Yeah, my lids were getting heavy.
Yeah, we both had a really long day.
Yeah, we did. So and we did a 2-hour show. We didn't.
Yeah.
If we'd have stuck with every story and commented on every single story, we'd have been here for 3 hours.
Exactly. Yeah. Kind of like the last.
And the chat room went completely cold, so I think everybody went to sleep on us.
Yeah.
Well, not to mention the fact also some of our numbers are missing from tonight are normal. Some of our regular watchers because you have a Kingdom mid-reign going on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was me. But...
No, it's not you. So anyway, folks, for those of you that if you're going to watch this later when it's not live, I hope you guys had a good time at the event. I wish I could have been there.
He does.
I do. I'm hoping still to make mid-reign in August. It's on my schedule of travel is to make the mid-reign in August.
He does.
So, but that's all we got.
All right. So on behalf of R&R, the Raj and Rich Show, I'm Raj.
I'm Rich.
And that's gonna do it.
Bye.